Are these the best SP cabooses in HO scale? Let's take a look. Hi, I'm Dan Cortopassi, and today I'm reviewing a set of 3 HO scale Southern Pacific cabooses from Athearn Genesis. A retro review is a review of a model or models from an older production run. These 3 models are decorated for Southern Pacific, examples of the C50-7, C50-8, and C50-9 classes. All 3 models were loaned to me for review by Mark Wiens. Since these aren't my models, I'll be skipping the rip track segment. Otherwise, this will be like any other product review. Athearn offered these cars with and without DCC controllable lights. Mark's cars are all lighted, so the prices for the unlighted ones are probably a little lower. According to the box stickers, the MSRP for each car is $99.98. Mark paid $80 a piece for these cars in 2019. These cars were sold separately, but I'll be treating them as a set for the purposes of this review. Since there are 3 cars in the review, we'll start the models at 300 possible points. Each car comes in a cardboard box with a clear plastic window on top. Inside, a plastic cradle protects the model. A layer of flexible clear material protects against scratches. The end handrails have foam protectors, though one was missing on this car. Mark may have already opened the boxes. There's a package with photo-etched window screens inside the box. One of the rotating axle end caps on one of the cabooses is missing, and there are no spares in the box. Since it's possible this model was previously opened, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. Some literature is in the box, including a sheet with prototype information and exploded view drawings, and another sheet with DCC information. These are good boxes that should protect the models for storage and transport. Southern Pacific received its first bay window cabooses in 1947. The first bay window cabooses with 50-ton trucks were built in 1968 for SP subsidiary Cotton Belt. These and subsequent orders were classed as C for caboose, 50 for 50-ton trucks, and then a sequence number. The Cotton Belt cars were classed C50-2. According to the information I could find, the C50-1 and -6 classes were vacant with no cars assigned to them. The remaining classes of C50 cars were built between 1970 and 1980. This included 16 C50-5 cars for SP subsidiary Cotton Belt. Athearn has made models of these cars as well. International Car Company built the lower numbered classes. After PACCAR acquired International, the C50-7, -8, and -9 cars were built by PACCAR in the same plant in Kenton, Ohio, starting in 1978. Mark's models are examples of these late classes of SP cabooses. All 3 classes are similar in terms of overall dimensions, construction, and paint treatment. Most of the differences between the models are in small details in the number of windows. All 3 were delivered without roof walks. There was also a C50-10 class, but this consisted of only 1 car. SP1 was a short body bay window caboose that SP rebuilt from another car. This Bluford Shops model is not completely accurate, but is similar in overall design to the real SP1. Toward the end of the caboose era, many railroads started to plate over some caboose side windows to reduce the threat from rock throwing and such. The C50-9 car was built with no side windows at all outside the bay. The other 2 classes have 2 windows on one side and 1 on the other. SP plated over the side windows on some of their cabooses. Modelers wanting a super accurate caboose fleet might want to consult photos to see what a particular car looked like at a given time. I compared each model to photos of the real cars, and they all appear to be spot on. Interestingly, I found photos of a very beat out and somewhat modified 4699 still on the rails in 2023 in Oak Ridge, Oregon. SP 4773 became RGEX 4773. I found photos of it in Colorado on the Royal Gorge Railroad as late as 2012. The paint on the cars is opaque and the markings are crisp and free of voids. Small stencils are legible with magnification. The C50-7 car has the Gothic-style reporting marks that were apparently a mistake when the cars were made. The other cars have the more traditional SP Roman-style lettering in that area. The C50-7 car has screens installed in the windows. The C50-8 car has plain windows. All the cars come with a bag with screens that can be used on the bays. The C50-7 car has rounded windows with black gaskets on the end of the bays. The other cars have rectangular windows with squared-off silver frames. All of this matches the real ones. Each car has nicely done vent detail and diagonal striping on the ends of the bays. All of the cars have freestanding grab irons. 1 axle on each car has generator detail. The end steps and platforms are see-through. On the ends, the cars have uncoupling levers, air hoses, and nicely done brake wheels. The C50-7 car has door vent detail. On top, each car has the characteristic SP round antenna stand and a roof vent. The C50-7 and -9 cars have roof-mounted frog eye marker lights. The C50-8 car has a roof-mounted conduit since the lights are on the ends. It's worth noting that I found photos of some C50-8 cars with the frog eye lights on the roof. There seems to have been some variation in the placement of the markers within each caboose class. Underneath, the cars have excellent brake system detail. All 8 wheels are used to pick up current. The wheels themselves are metal with the standard RP25 tread profile. The axle end caps rotate. Though I'm not going to change the couplers since these aren't my models, the draft gear boxes are conventional with a lower lid held in place by a screw. I have a couple Athearn Genesis SP cabooses similar to this, and I've swapped the couplers for Katie's with no problem. You just need to be careful with the uncoupling lever. The cars have plastic McHenry couplers on both ends. Looking for a match in the horizontal center line, the coupler on the generator end is high, so I'm taking 5 points. The coupler on the other end is also high. The coupler on the generator end is high on this car as well. The other coupler is also high. The coupler on the generator end on this car is close enough to call it good. The coupler on the other end is high. All the wheels on all 3 cars are engaged according to the NMRA standards gauge. All 3 cars wobble, meaning that the body keeps vibrating after the wheels have settled onto the track. This can cause an unrealistic shimmy when the car is on the rails, so I'm taking 5 points per car. All 3 cars weigh 3 ounces even. The NMRA recommended weight for a car of this length is 3.5 ounces, so these are a touch light. Considering that most of the time these would be the last car in the train, I don't think the slight discrepancy is a big deal. All 3 cars are reasonably free rolling. None of the cabooses had any issue on Kato 550mm curves, which are equivalent to a 21 5/8 inch radius. As with most DCC decoders, the address is set to 3 by default. F0 turns on the red marker lights and is directional so that only one of the lights is on at a time. Changing the direction makes the light on the opposite end of the caboose come on. F5 turns on the interior light. Cars purchased without the lighting option still have the marker light LEDs and track power pickups installed. You would need to install a DCC function decoder or some kind of DC lighting circuit to make the lights work. Be sure to use appropriate resistors to protect the LEDs. Since I'm not doing the rip track segment this time, I thought I'd throw in a few pictures of some of my own Athearn Genesis cabooses. My cars have Katie scale couplers and are lightly weathered. My model of SP4764, a C50-9, has the window screens installed on the bays in the open position. My model of SP4635 is a C50-7 car. Athearn also made this Western Pacific caboose based on an order for 6 WP cabooses built by PACCAR in 1980 that were tacked onto SP's C50-9 order. So even though I modeled the 1990s, as an SP fan, I really like these cabooses. I have a couple of my own, but I was glad that Mark lent me the pristine ones out of the box for the review. I also have the WP version, since WP had a car very similar to these. And I really like all of them. You know, if you're a prototype modeler and you're looking for accuracy and high detail, then I think you found it. You know, I know these are a little more expensive than, you know, just run-of-the-mill cabooses, but I think, you know, given the amount of research that Athearn did and the amount of detail and the fact that they have interiors and all of that stuff, you know, they're pretty good. You know, they're honestly more detailed than some of the brass cars that I have. I don't have a lot of brass cabooses, but I have a few. And, you know, most of them don't have as good of detail on the underside. They don't have interiors. They don't have lights. So, you know, if you want all that stuff, then, you know, this really isn't a bad deal, I don't think. If you're looking for a less expensive caboose, I think Athearn still has the old SP caboose that they've had for years since the Blue Box days available in their, maybe their mid-range line now. I'm not quite sure, but, you know, that's a good car if you want just a basic SP caboose. That's not as expensive. But, you know, if you're looking for a high-end model, then, you know, I think this is it. Let's see what we've got. All 3 cars had coupler height issues and wobbled, so I took a total of 40 points in the standards and operation category. That leaves us with 260 out of 300 possible points. That averages to 86.67 points, which earns a B. Individually, 4621 and 4699 scored 85 points, and 4773 scored 90. These are highly detailed and accurate models that are sure to be popular with SP modelers. I'm giving them a green signal. I think Athearn did a really nice job on these cars, and I really like it that they're available in different classes. This is a real boon for SP modelers who, you know, want more modern cabooses in their fleet. And the lighting is pretty cool too. Even though I'm modeling the 90s when cabooses were kind of a thing of the past, I do have a few of these myself and intend to use them, you know, maybe with a little modeler's license or on locals or something, but I'm happy to have them. So if you like this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned and thanks for watching.